Believe it or not, a very bullish signal flashed for Bitcoin on the weekly time frame. Bitcoin is currently trending down below $85,500. What happened the last two times? Now, this is only the third time in the last 4 years that this signal flashed on the weekly time frame for Bitcoin. What does it mean? We're going to talk about that. Michael Saylor buys more Bitcoin. Bad timing? We'll talk about that. Also, Ondo gets in on the hottest layer one chain out there, which is Solana. What does that mean for Ondo? Is it more bullish for Ondo or for Solana? We're going to talk about some trading. We're going to talk about how we're making money even though the prices are going down. We have that and much, much more on today's episode of Sin City Crypto. Gina, roll the intro.
Hola! Is your boy Big Rob back in the house. Welcome to Sin City Crypto. We're home of the entertainment-focused cryptocurrency content. We take old, boring, and stale information, and unlike other channels, we do it better than they do. That's right. Bitcoin has fallen yet again. This time we've put in a lower high. And
a lower low.
Well, kind of. Well, we were down below 85.
It depends on what time frame you're looking at.
So if you look here over the last month, ultimately we were rallying. We got to 90,000. We pulled back. However, we started in November. Middle of November 20th to be exact, at 80,000. We wicked down to 79,000 on some exchanges, but we'll call it 82, 81. And we got up to 90,000 and then we pulled back. We had another sell off, but we didn't go down quite as low as we did back on November 20th. We rallied again, we'd fall back. We were putting in higher lows, right? But now we've changed course direction here, and we put in 85,000. And so we are still above this December 1st low. And I think we're at a big point right now, right? If we stay above 85,000, then on the macro, we're still putting in higher lows. However, if we lose this 85,000, then we're down to 70, bro. If we lose 85,000
for more from 85 to 70?
No, I meant like under 80,000. So in the 70s. So I think the 77, 78, I think that's 76, 75, whatever you want to call it. That's where you're going. And so I think over the next 48 hours will tell us what direction this market's going to go for the next month and a half. Do you kind of feel that way? Do you think that we're at a point?
There was one person who kind of, although my number to the upside was a little off, right? I posted this, when was the 12th? Was that Friday? That was Friday, right? That was Friday. Said Bitcoin runs up to 93.2K either tomorrow or Sunday, meaning Saturday or Sunday, and then dumps down to 82K. I still think 82 to 83K is where we kind of land and find a local bottom. Think then we get a push back to the upside, maybe 88K, 87.5. And then I think at that point, it'll be, in my opinion, the inflection point, right? Do we reclaim 90 and make our way back up to 95, or do we get continued spill off down to the maybe high 70s? And so I don't know, maybe it happens over the next 48 hours, maybe it doesn't. But my base case is we're going down to 83.5-ish. We see a little bit of a relief rally, and then at around 86 to 88K is the inflection point. What will happen? I don't know what will happen. Time will tell. But but I don't want to say we saw this coming, but I kind of figured this was going to happen. I did make some money this morning before we got on the show. Made my $300 for the day. Keep it nice and simple. On a Bitcoin short, got in at 85,880, got out at 85,480. on Coinbase, and you can see here this filled $76,932. That's not how much I made. That was the notional value. I'm also in a short on client funding. Let me show you guys that. And so if you guys want to trade a pretty big bankroll without having to put up that big bankroll, then prop trading is a great way to go. Let me go ahead and log in and I can show you guys. I did take some L's over the weekend on some trades, but the trade I'm in right now currently is up. I haven't closed it yet. It's up like $800, I think, on a Bitcoin short. And so if you use our code in the description, you'll get a 25% discount on standard accounts or a 15% discount on instant funded accounts. And so make sure you use that link if you want to support the channel. Maybe take a trading challenge. Who knows? Maybe you can get taken live and get the real 100,000 and put it up and trade with it. So, okay, so let me talk about the bullish signal that we discussed in the beginning of the show. And what I'm talking about is here on Market Cipher B, okay? This is Bitcoin on the weekly. We got a double green dot. We got a green dot on momentum wave, and we got a green dot down here on the momentum bar, okay? If you take a look at the last time this happened was back here. Let me shrink this down. I'll shrink this down. Let's drop a vertical here, right at where it happened. So to the right of it, right, your red line here was your double green dot on the weekly. And well, what did Bitcoin do from the next candle open? From wick to wick, it rallied 22%. Now, this was back in July of 2022, okay? And this is the second time that we've seen this indicator flash here on Market Cipher B. Now, could this be, now again, this is on the high time frame. So it kind of falls in line with my thesis on 83 and then back up. Does this tell us that, hey, maybe that next move after 86 to 88K is back up to 95, 96? And this thing comes true. That would be close to a, I think it would be what, a 20% move? If it got down to, let's say, 83, and we ran it up to a 20% move would be $99,000. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but I mean, I don't know, Rob, what are your thoughts on these indicators flashing here? Do you put any weight on these? I mean, it's pretty significant on the high time frame. I know the lower time frames and the price action we're seeing right now doesn't really support that, but what are your thoughts on that?
On the high time frames, we're in a good spot, right? I think if you look here at 80,000, if that holds, or 79,000, whatever, basically 80,000. You can throw some candle wicks in there. If that holds, you're still above trend. Now, we will have a very different conversation if 80,000 is lost. And
80,000 is lost. Are you bear market territory?
Not in the long term, not in like the macro sense, but I do think that the next 3-4 months is shot.
So then what's your base case for 2026?
I think regardless what happens in 2020, what happens now, the latter half, so the back half of 2026 will be very bullish. I think that what you're going to get at the moment is uncertainty in the markets. We're going to see what direction Bitcoin goes. From there, I don't know, man. From there, I think that you get a new Fed chair. We get an ease of the federal interest rates. Also, you're going to have I don't know. Any other bullish macro? I mean, I know the government's talking about passing the Clarity Act, which I know we've talked briefly about. I don't think is the most bullish. I think that the narrative that, hey, the Clarity Act is going to pass, it's going to be extremely bullish for crypto. I think it's going to be good for crypto as far as companies operating, companies holding, buying. I think it's going to settle a lot of questions that are in the markets, that are the traditional markets, and how to custody and the tax implications behind crypto. I think it's going to segment also cryptos. You know, you got your stable coins, you have Bitcoin, other digital assets. I think there's going to be clear defining roles and everything, but I just don't know how that equates to giant green candle. I think it's bullish for the crypto space. I think it's going to foster innovation. I think that over time, it will help Bitcoin's price go up, help adoption, get more exposure to people, more exposure to companies, which ultimately is bullish. But for those of you thinking like, hey, Clarity Act is here, let's go. Like,
Well, that's what people like Charles Hoskinson say, right? They say that that's going to be the jet fuel for crypto, right? Well, you're saying you don't really believe in that?
I think what it is the launch pad. If you want to say like the jet fuel, like, I don't think it's the jet fuel. I think the jet fuel is liquidity, right? The jet fuel is how much money people have to spend and how, you know, what is the incentive to invest, right? The incentive to invest grows exponentially when borrowing becomes cheaper and you incentivize people to borrow. When you say, hey, you got your house, it's worth $500,000 now, you bought it for $150,000 and interest rates are way down, why don't you refinance and take some cash out? Keep the same mortgage payment. Like, So I can keep the same mortgage payment. I can pull out $100,000 and I can do stuff with it. And I don't have to pay more for my house. Like, that's the situation. You know, like, you make it like dumb for people not to borrow money or use money, right? Or you could at least refinance and get a cheaper mortgage payment, right?
Yeah.
And then even if you don't want to pull money out of your house, you can just refinance, get a cheaper mortgage payment, and then you have extra money. So it gets to a point where when the interest rates drop, that like it's just hard not to find money pouring into crypto. On top of that, you got the Clarity Act, so you know, take that for what it is. And then you got nations. You got nations straight up buying crypto.
We have, would you say that Amazon kind of revolutionized like the internet, how people live their lives, right? Like that, the early 2000s.
I think Amazon revolutionized shopping.
Okay. But
I would say Amazon gutted the retail.
We can agree that the early 2000s was to just change the way people live their lives with the internet, how they use it, what they can do on it. Right. Okay. Can you agree with me that blockchain and crypto is revolutionizing finance?
Yeah. And if you're putting a correlation that it took a long time for their Amazon's stock price to mature over the time that it was innovating and changing the world, and you're relating that to crypto, is that where we're going?
Well, I mean, I wanted to share this chart, right? This is Amazon on the weekly, and it got to a high of around $5.63 in December of 99. And then it fell from high to low 95%. And then it was around 2,290 days before it took out this high here that kind of changed the structure of the chart, right? This high here around $3.04. It broke it in the week of the second week of April in 2007.
Came back and back tested it and then off to the races.
And then it was off to the races, right? What when I look at that and I say, okay, when you are literally revolutionizing an entire space, right? This was the internet, the way people live their lives every day.
What was the time frame between that back test?
From when it rallied and it came back and tested it?
Yeah.
Like how long?
Yeah. No. On that, what you already have there.
2,282 days.
2,200?
Yeah.
So like 8 years?
7
years?
326 weeks. So
why are you speaking in weird numbers?
Well, because that's the numbers. That's what it says on here.
Guys, it was 8,544 hours.
It was about 6 years.
It was in 77 dog years.
How old's your baby? 98 months. That's just because the numbers are on the
Yeah, once your baby's over a year old, stop using the weeks
or the months.
or months, whatever it is.
Yeah, so it was
Maybe 92 weeks. But, huh?
a little over 6 years.
What?
6.2 years.
Okay. 6.2 years. Just say 6 years.
6 years. But
throw an extra year in there for that back test.
Okay, but before we get into this conversation, I do want to give a big thank you. Today's show is brought to you by channel partner stake.us. If you're looking to have some fun, win some games, they are having some free roll tournaments. They're having a big stake poker tournament as well, where they got guaranteed prizes. And so if you click the link in the description, create an account, that's the very least you can do. And well, you can earn 1 free stake cash every single day just by logging in. That's $30 of free stake cash every single month, almost 400 every year. And there's people talking about how I can earn money or make money. There's one way to do it, and literally you just click 2 buttons. And so, big thanks to Stake for sponsoring the show today.
Shout out to Stake. Hi.
Yeah,
We love you.
You know, guys,
Sign up.
portfolios
Try
are
it out.
down. Everyone is the sentiment is shit. The very least you can do is just support us by just creating an account. Just create an account. That's it. That's all you gotta
Then
do.
really, realistically, no risk to you. I mean, you can just play around with
The gold coins.
the gold coins.
Yeah.
I do the same thing with like demo trading. I just kind of like play around with funds. Just get practice, right?
Yeah.
So that way, when I do get on the table and I'm playing poker, last week, your boy just win the whole damn thing. Why? Because I've had my time in where,
I was toast, bro.
You're also, you get in your own head, dude. You're like, oh, this dealer gives me bad cards. I'm at bad hand. This hand is bad. This hand is bad. Oh, this hand's bad. Oh, see, happened again. Like,
Yeah, the
you're
hands-
psyching yourself
hands
out.
were
bro.
terrible.
You gotta, yeah.
There's no
you gotta
psyching
make
yourself out.
It is, man. You're bringing that bad juju.
You either get good cards or you get bad cards. And
No, or you just get cards and you.
I had a
make the
full
most of it.
house, and the guy had a higher full house. That doesn't happen very often.
It's called poker.
It happens, just not very often. Anyways, what are you completely dismissing the idea that crypto and Bitcoin can go through something similar to what the .com stocks did in the early 2000s?
Yeah.
Isn't there a correlation there to sit there and say that, hey, this is a real possibility?
But the problem, though, is if you think about it in the .com era, is the fact that it took the 6.2 years or 777
Months.
weeks or whatever the hell you were saying, for it to have returned a positive, for it to be worth it, it took a while, right? You had to hold out for a long time, and so you got to ask yourself, one, do you believe crypto's here to stay? The answer for me is 100% yes, and I think that what you're seeing with all the lawmakers, like the entire Congress and every branch of the government, has at least a couple bullish people on crypto. Currently, our executive branch, I feel like everybody has a position on crypto. I mean, do you agree?
When you say everybody, what do you mean?
Executive branch.
Oh, like Trump and JD Vance.
I would say every department has a couple people, but
Yeah.
when it comes to the executive branch, pretty much all. I don't know of anybody negative on crypto from the presidential cabinet.
No, I don't think there's any.
So, I mean, it goes to show you that it's here to stay. So if it's here to stay, you just got to understand that current prices are down, that you're just really taking in position. And I think that's what we're really seeing. I was driving into work today, or here to the studio, and I somehow, I don't know where, daydream or whatever it was. And I was just thinking, I was like, you know what? The smart money right now is positioning themselves on Bitcoin. I genuinely think that's what's happening. I think, we saw JP Morgan reverse stance. Now they're publicly backing crypto. We saw Vanguard reverse. There was rumors of Kazakhstan selling.
Wow.
So they were going to sell their gold reserves and buy Bitcoin. There's also the U.S., which is passing the Clarity Act. Anyways, the smart money is
JP Morgan's now allowing Bitcoin for collateral. Bank of America is looking to issue tokenized. So there's a lot happening. It's
smart money is putting in the position now, right?
Would you believe, do you believe in
we see this every time, bro. We saw it in 2019 to 2020, right? You started getting rumors that things were happening, and
I want you to humor me here, okay?
then retail came in, then smart money dumped on retail.
The conspiracy is that crypto has a future, and the banks and the institutions know it, and they're just shaking out retail so they can get in at a better price, and then they're going to rally everything.
I don't think they're shaking out retail. I just think that retail just ain't here. There's no retails to shake out.
Well, there's some retail here.
You got Dorito guy that's just sitting on his couch eating Doritos and, you know, talking about like, yeah, I got XRP at 50 cents. I'm going to hold it till I die. Like, those people are in short supply right now, man. Like, that's really all it is, dude. It's a lack of retail. We were also talking about that this morning as well.
Yeah.
You know, it's why aren't we seeing this massive price discovery in Bitcoin? It's, well, the sentiment's not quite there yet. The people's the everyday person doesn't have extra disposable income to invest. We saw it in 2020, right? Will you say that 2020 was an asterisk, something that'll never happen again, where, you know, everyone was stuck at home, everyone was given money, you weren't allowed to leave, and so it was like perfect timing for crypto? I will agree with that. However, in the same way that maybe 1999 and 2000 was the perfect time for everyone to say, like, hey, the internet is real. Like, this thing is going to replace email. It's going to replace my physical mailbox. It's going to replace my newspaper. It's going to replace my VHS tape, and it's going to replace my CDs. I think what happened in 1999 and the 2000, people realized that. And the market was probably at a perfect time, and it topped. And then you sold off and you had a bear market, and then all of a sudden, nobody said, hey, you know what? The internet thing was fake. Look back in 1999. Like, nobody was saying that. They're like, well, a bunch of companies just came out of nowhere and tried to put .coms on everything, and it didn't work. And I think the same thing's happening in crypto, right?
That's what I'm saying, bro.
Is
And
that
it's
like
very similar as everyone's like, oh yeah, we're AI too. Yeah, we're RWA too.
But you know what's interesting? After this top, just like in 2000, after the last top in 2021, nobody thought that crypto was fake. Everyone just was like, well, that Sam Bankman-Fried, he got y'all. Terra Luna, that was interesting. And so it was more of a surprise of the individuals that were running companies versus crypto. And I mean, how much do we hear now that Bitcoin's a Ponzi scheme? It's not real money. It's
very
little. And, you know, I'm not saying people don't say it. However, compared to what it was back in 2019, 2018, 2017, like, nobody was a believer, right? Except for the hardcore crypto nerds. And so, you know, it's very likened to that. And so if you ask yourself, hey, 2021 was the top and we had a washout since then all you got to really do is just wait for the next rally.
I mean, and think about it this way too, Rob. Obviously, Bitcoin made a new high. ETH barely by the tip of its tip, whatever the saying. What's the saying? The hair of its, by the hair on its skin, whatever. I'm so bad at this. I'm really bad.
Hair, your chinny chin chin.
I got TMJ, man. My jaw hurts really bad.
TMJ.
Don't make jokes. Yeah.
Too much job.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Too much job.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
too much job. Yeah. Moron.
Job. Yeah.
So,
what kind of job?
There's a lot of. It's not funny. It really hurts. There's a lot of projects, altcoins that
big job last night, huh?
That never made all-time highs, right? Cardano, no new all-time high. Polkadot, no new all-time high. Chainlink, no new all-time high. I can go on and on and on. So if let's just say, Rob, we agree that, hey.
But you can also, at the same time, real quick, you can also say certain projects did make new all-time high.
Well, that's what I'm saying. There's
XRP, new all-time high. Solana, new all-time high.
BNB,
new all-time high. Zcash, I don't really put that in.
Zcash was not an all-time high.
Oh, yeah. Right. But it was cycle high.
But we can argue majority, though, did not make new all-time highs, yes?
Yeah, but also you can say the same thing about 2021. 2021, majority of, well, I don't want to say.
No, majority,
I would say that
all-time highs.
there were a lot of disappointing cryptos in 2021. Okay, everything was in a good spot, but Monero, Litecoin, Dash, Zcash, all of these things dramatically underperformed. You had Audius. Like there was a lot of projects.
Audius, you always bring up Audius, bro.
It was a terrible video we did.
It was bad.
But
I literally sold the bottom on that Bitcoin short. I got it at the perfect time. Look at this. I got it at 85,480. I mean, it did wick down at 85.1, but it's pushing up. It's past 86K now, meaning some level of resistance at its VWAP band here, the lower band. And so, I mean, I'd be more, I guess, short-term bullish on price action in terms of reversing this big, fall off from 89.8 down to 85.1. If we can take out this high right here at around 87,250, we can, 86,930. If we can take out the high at 86,930, I think I'll change at least my very short-term day-to-day or hour-to-hour bias to more bullish. But for now, I'm still bearish. And someone in the chat said, we're clowns for shorting Bitcoin. Okay, well, if you want to call us clowns for making money, then it's totally fine. But the point I was trying to make with the 2021 cycle is a lot made all-time highs. This cycle, a lot of altcoins did not make all-time highs. So could we reverse the clock back to 2021 and say that is when this 6.25 year, 320 week lull with the dot-com era, can we roll it back to 2021 and say that's when it started, and 2024, 2025 was like that blip in the radar we saw with Amazon? If I can pull that up again, let's go to the weekly on Amazon. Let's scroll over this way. Right here. Can we argue that 2025 was like this, right? Didn't make a new all-time high, but came up, had a small rally, and then it went into hibernation again for another. Let's actually bring this over and let's measure how many days. From that high in 2003, it was around 1,280 days. So what is that? Almost 3 years. We say it's 3 years from 2025 before we see this type of massive expansion as the financial system gets kind of overtaken and flipped on its head and changed. I don't think you should dismiss it. I really don't. And if that's the case and that happens, 2028, 2029, I don't know if people want to hear these numbers because we're still 2.5 years out on that. But it's something to keep my eye out on. And the more we're seeing price action and what's 2025, if the bull market is over and we're in a bear market, it kind of aligns. It makes sense. Adoption's happening, price is not happening. And so very interesting.
So I want to talk about, guys, where are we going to make some money at? I got some plays for you. Yeah. I got some plays for you. Virtuals Protocol, 71 cents. Why am I highlighting Virtuals? It's been on the downtrend. It is at a pivotal support here. It is at 70 cents, which we have bounced off of last time we got down here, which was... when was our 70 cents? Back in October. So we are in an interesting spot. We could definitely go down to 50 cents. We were back here in April. However, you might say, hey, there's a lot of charts that look like this. Why would I try to catch something on the way down? I will say that the narrative seems to say AI agents are on the way up and, well, virtuals is still on the way down. So I'm going to bet to say that this is going to reverse. And why do I say that? Well, let's take a look at the biggest gainers on the 24 hours. So this is out of the top 200 tokens. And you can even go into the top 100 tokens. And you can see that, hey, there is a new player in the game here in the top 100. You can see that Ardera, this one with the ticker BEAT, is up 59%, 60%, also up 77%. You can look at Ardera's chart and you can say, hey, how did we get here? Back it was up to $3 before, back in Let's see here. It was up to $3. So a lot of volatility. We just crossed $3 again, and this is on the 1 hour. So if we pull up the 24-hour candles, you can see that it hasn't been around for that long, but doing well. Anyways, doesn't matter. I don't think this is a good buy. I just wanted to show you that this right now is the #1 performing asset in crypto right now in the top 100. And what is ALGO? So if you go and do a little bit of research on what this thing is, you go to the about section. I don't take too. I just genuinely, like, cliff notes here. Don't ever believe what's in the about section just because they're usually paid. This is usually written by the developers. But anyways, so here, users can interact with AI idols, and it integrates AI agents and blockchain to provide an immersive, creator-driven experience. What the hell is this? Okay, AI just. First of all, it's well, not that I really care, but just to show you what it's about. It's a dancing game, which is kind of interesting. So, it's like you've seen those ones, the arcades. Now it says it's like full immersive, like you use your legs and all this, but I could not find a single video on anybody with an actual mat, but this is what it looks like. I got the sound muted because it's more than likely copyrighted, but you can see here you just basically dance. It's kind of like Guitar Hero meets the Dance Whatever Revolution. Anyways, that's what the game's about. Now, I don't really care about this game. Something to keep an eye on. This is what it is, right? It's new, but if you start looking, you go down the list here, and you're like, no, this is the top 200. Like, what is the biggest gainers here? Now, this one's up 100% on the last 7 days. What the hell is Pippen? I thought it was Scottie Pippen's thing. So I'm like, oh, Scottie Pippen's thing ran back, right? Like, when was the last time we heard about this? And you go look at the 1 week, you can see that, oh yeah, this is Scottie Pippen's. When it came up, it came out and got over hyped up, and then it sold off. Well, it's not Scottie Pippen's chain. It's actually a gentleman named Yohei Nakahama. Anyways, I'm sure I butchered that name like I do all the time. But here, another autonomous AI agent on X. Pippen was created by Yohei and is recognized in. He's a thought leader in the AI VC space, followed by Jeff Bezos, Mark Andreessen. And remember, once again, take these about sections in this thing as just cliff notes, right? And is written by the company. So it is what it is. But anyways, I'm just showing you that the current sentiment right now is that so the top 2 projects that are up currently is 2 AI agents. Go down to, we got MYX Finance. Okay, we'll pass that one. You go down to AI NFT. Once again, another project that leverages AI agents. Now, you ask yourself, what is the strongest AI agent play in the game right now? Who has the best ecosystem? Where are the AI agents at? And, well, it's, once again, back to Virtuous Protocol, which is at a key pivotal support range, which we were just at back in, what was the time frame on this? Back in October. I think this thing is about to rally. Now, how high will it go? I think that at this current time, I would not be surprised to see Virtuous Protocol move from 70 cents up to $1. Now, can it eclipse $1, eclipse $1.50? That I don't know. But I do think that the trend right now is that you have 3 out of the top 5 biggest gainers are all AI agent plays, and Virtuous Protocol is down a lot, and it's a pivotal support range, which I would expect a big bounce from. David, you are a Virtuous Protocol savant. You know more about it than 99% of the people in crypto. What do you think about all this? AI agents coming back?
I'd like to know more about Nakahimo. Sounds like an interesting guy.
Yeah.
Speaking of Japan, I'll answer your question.
And since you're into AI agents,
yes,
and you need help with dance moves, would you be willing to play ALGO?
Yep.
You're gonna get paid tokens. Yeah. Okay. There it is.
Yeah. Set it up. Dance floor.
Will do
it. So let's say there's a 7-Eleven on Buffalo and the 215. They sell like OG Japanese candies. They have those little Coca-Colas. Oh, so good. So, yeah, virtuals. I'm interested in a more of a micro niche in AI agents. I think robotics is an interesting one. You could talk about robotics and payments and robotics just infrastructure. Virtuals has a couple plays in there. The one that stands out the most is Vader. And I started accumulating position on that. I've been accumulating for probably the last 4 to 6 weeks. We told our Patreon members. But yes, virtuals is the #1 launchpad, is the #1 ecosystem for all things AI agents. Sure, you have CreatorBid, you have some on BitTensor, but virtuals is the leader. And when you couple that with the team and their proven track record, I think it's a no-brainer. Now, I think you're right on the money, though. I think if it does rally, I think $1 is where it stops. It's a 30% rally. And so if it does happen and you get in a
50% rally.
No, 30% rally.
All right, half of 70 cents is
You're
35
right.
cents.
About 40%.
It's a touch shy. You could say 45%, but we can round it
40
up.
to 50%.
I think if it gets to $1, I think it goes over $1. And briefly, I think if you're saying that it gets to $1 and loses it, I think it gets to $1.10, $1.12, $1.15, something like that. And then I think so. I think that.
What was the last big piece of news when it came to AI? Was it the new ChatGPT thing? Was it? It's kind of been a while, right?
Yeah.
So what's the next
you
one?
remember I was saying, I'm like, hey man, the AI is gonna take a breather, dude. It's gonna we were plateauing on remarkable game-changing evolution, right? Like when email first came out, everyone was like, holy crap, how much better did email get? It got better over time, but it's not like all of a sudden email's like Amazon.
AI is way
Okay, let me tell you. Amazon from 1999 to 2002 was vastly different, right? Or 2005.
AI is way bigger than email.
Yeah, I get that. Okay. Online shopping. How about this? Okay. Online shopping. Amazon. We were talking about Amazon earlier. Back in 1999, when I first used Amazon, it was like buying from eBay, right? It was like very confusing. There was like, you didn't know, like you had to still type in your credit card, like digit by digit for every single transaction. They didn't like save your information on the website. Like there was no account like where you have now, where it's like one click buy now, add to, you know what I mean? Like it was a lot more confusing. Anyways, it sped up and it was like a boom, right? We went from like no online retail to having like the whole shopping cart of the world at your fingertips. Anyways, not too much innovation. Is Amazon in 1990, or excuse me, is Amazon in 2018 that much different than it is today? As far as a user experience?
Kind of.
Wait, you can get your package now in 1 day instead of 2?
That was a bunch of stuff, right? Are we talking about just the shopping or like
Yeah,
Amazon
I'm talking about
Amazon Video?
No, I'm not talking about Amazon as a company. I'm just saying that Amazon's user, how.
Well, now they're integrating AI to it. There's
It's really not. It's
But
still still for the most part the same
but it's
shopping
one thing,
experience.
shopping.
Yeah.
AI is disrupting everything.
No,
Your
but
day-to-day life, your communication,
But
your
where I'm getting at here is that once you break into a new era, right? And if technology, it doesn't. You don't get revolutionary change year by year, not in the same way that it was when it first broke out. You just look at any technology, right? When we went from horse and buggy to car, as soon as cars came out, like they were ass at first. And then, you had to go in the front and you had to turn the little crank in the front of the car to start the car. And then, you had very little innovation year after year, right? It was pretty much the same crap. The same thing with television, right? You went from radio to television and all of a sudden, over the course of 40 years, televisions got slightly smaller, slightly smaller, slightly smaller, slightly smaller. And it's the same thing here, man. We had a huge innovation boom in AI. We went from having no AI to all of a sudden, boom, everybody's using it. And it just came out of nowhere. Now you're going to have slow incremental change that slightly improves the product year over year. And you won't see the giant green candles that you saw previously. But you'll get sustained steady growth over time. And the thing is that we went from no AI companies to like a handful of giant market leading AI companies and then tens of thousands of smaller AI companies. And now we're in a spot where we're just kind of like, we're slowly innovating little over little, and people are still expecting that giant green NVIDIA candle from 1999 or from 2019.
I got a question. Are you excited to buy Sex? Sex is on the short list of potential SpaceX tickers for their IPO. Rob, will you be buying Sex when you can?
I've never bought Sex before.
That's a lie.
Not as a deliberate transaction, but, you know, fancy dinners.
I'm talking about the stock.
Yeah.
What? Thank you. Good timing on that one, Gina. Anyways, let's talk about Michael Saylor. Speaking of getting penetrated, so Strategy has acquired 10,600 Bitcoin at 92,000. The man cannot miss. He is an absolute genius. How does this happen every time? Hey, Saylor, you could have gotten a $5,000 discount on your $1 billion buy, guy. Anyways, they spent $1 billion. They bought each Bitcoin at 92K. And looks like currently they're holding 671,268 Bitcoin with an average price of 74,972 Bitcoin. There's the news. I don't have anything to comment on that. And then
I wonder what do you think happens if Bitcoin's price, and it did happen before, but if Bitcoin's price drops below their average price?
He'll be fine. I think they came out and said that they're not worried about margin calls unless Bitcoin gets to sub 10K or something.
Yeah.
Either way, though, I don't know. I'm not a fan of this. It's a free market, so they can do whatever they want. But
you know, have you thought about the situation where if Bitcoin's price did drop and they got into some situation where they need to generate cash for whatever reason, they could just sell some Bitcoin, right? Everyone just says, like, I think everyone's like mentality is that like, oh my God, if they ever sell Bitcoin, they'll just basically like they get liquidated or something like that.
No.
Like they're a trader or something. And I think that like, hey, they have 600,000 Bitcoin. And so I think even in the most doomsday, doom and gloom, awful scenario, Bitcoin's price is dropping crazy fast. I think if they were forced to sell, like they would probably sell like 50,000 Bitcoin or 100,000 Bitcoin, which is a lot.
That's a lot.
But what I'm saying is that I think that is the worst case scenario versus, hey, they're not going to sell the whole damn thing.
My worst case scenario is a company goes under and they're forced to sell all of it. That's my worst case scenario.
That is the worst case scenario.
Yeah.
But as long as the company doesn't go under.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Either way, I want to throw it over to Brendan. Brandon, you got any charts for us, my friend? How are we going to make some money here?
Yeah, on Solana right now, I'm just kind of like, I don't really know. I haven't made any trades today. I missed the big move down, which is kind of frustrating, but I'm just looking around.
Tell us why. You were telling me the story. Why?
Yeah, so I was like,
Put the blame on someone.
No, I'm not blaming anybody. I'm not blaming anybody. I'm gonna keep it in the house right here.
Okay.
Yeah, but I just ended up having to take my siblings to school this morning, so I missed the big move down.
Damn siblings, bro.
Draw my trend lines and stuff like that. But it is what it is. I love my siblings, so I take care of them. And my mom, I love my mom so much. She had work, so I had to take my siblings to school.
You're a good man.
So yeah, I drew these trend lines right here. These are just some stuff I'm looking for. I mean, I got to change a character for value gap right here, but the way that the market is right now is just so scary, like bearish, that I'm just like, I don't really know. I mean, you saw that those double green dots on the Bitcoin, and this is actually that resistance level I was talking about last week, that new resistance level that it was hitting and tapping out of, and it actually tried to use it as resistance right here, and then just ended up shooting straight through it, and now it's down to its earlier resistance level at
Support, you mean?
Or support, yeah, shoot, at 124.10. So for me, I'm just looking to see what it's going to do. It did tap in and it's starting to make an uptrend, but like you said, Bitcoin, you think it could run down to 82. And if it continues to run down to 82, I can see this going down to maybe the bottom of this box right here at 121.63 or even a little bit lower. So I'm just looking for a short, really. I'm looking for something that gives me a little bit of profit margin and make me a little bit of money, but I don't want to do anything risky to the upside to where I'll lose a ton of money.
So what is there a setup on this chart that you're looking to get into, like as far as like a limit order to get in, or like what are you waiting to see before you enter a trade?
Honestly, for me, I have to obviously wait for my setup, and so I talk about my setup every single time I'm on the show, and so my setup right now would just be waiting for this trend line right here to get a change of character, which if it got a candle closure right here at 124.56, it would make a change of character, and that would be where and then I would look for my fair value gap, and then my limit order would be at the midpoint of my fair value gap, like I talk about usually.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, Rob, let's take a look at the rest of the markets, and then I want to share some Solana news, please.
Oh, Solana. So once again, we're at an interesting spot. Bitcoin, it is over 86,000 currently. And if you take a look here on the 1 hour candles, we are seeing a bounce here. We did get as low as 85. Basically, we were testing the 85K as support. We bounced. I would be very cautious here at this point because this could be just a quick stop, a quick little bounce before you go further down. As mentioned, I think that 85,000 over the next 48 hours is going to be something that kind of tells us the direction of the market. So you lose 85,000, you're down to 80,000, which puts us at a lower high, as mentioned on the macro. And I know we talked about this earlier, but basically you don't want to change character on the macro environment here. Otherwise, it's going to be a long time before we get back up. And the next stop here, if we lose this 80,000, is 65,000. So, yeah. Keep an eye on this thing. But anyways, let's take a look at some altcoins. So the top gainers today, as mentioned, you got THETA, you got Morpho, Zcash. Zcash is in an interesting spot. I think that it's just bouncing because it was down to 350. Remember, this thing is still down a ton on the when it comes to the highs that it was at just back in November. We were at over $700, so it's only been about a month, a little bit over a month since we got all-time highs, and so we're seeing a bounce there. I'd be very careful with Zcash. I'm not touching it. I'm not trading it unless you're shorting, but then Zcash just rallies. It gets big bounces. It rallies to the upside.
Your ass.
Yeah, I just would not trade Zcash right now. Think that because the problem is like when you trade something that's volatile, if it's on the upswing, you can if you just don't sell at the right time, you're still in a good spot because it's just gonna keep occurring higher highs. And so I don't know. I would stay away from Zcash as a trade. But let's get back into the top 200 and. As mentioned, there's a lot of these AI plays going on right now. But when you go down the list, you still see that there is some of these meme coins here. We got Sun, that build on we talked about. I think that this has something. I would keep a close eye on this. I know we highlighted it last week. It has a rounding bottom here. It did get as high as 73 cents. I would keep a close eye on this, man. I think that this might be a good play, man. I think that it's going to make back some of what it just lost here. Now, is it going to be sustainable? I don't know. But I think that this is going to at least rally up to 37 cents in my short opinion. But something to keep an eye on. I wouldn't bet the house on it. It's still a meme coin. It's still new. It's Binance, smart chain, so be easy. But
Yeah.
it might be something there. So
Beautiful.
yeah, not too much. And then what's down? You got Axelar, Telcoin, both down over 15%. But yeah, there you go.
Beautiful. All right, guys, we will be, excuse me, Brennan and I will be doing a trading show here in about 10 minutes. So if you just stay in the chat, you'll be automatically redirected, break down some charts, and maybe see if we can put in some trades and catch some longs or shorts. We're going to break those down. So come join us in 10 minutes. Stay in the chat. Gina, roll the outro. Thank you all very much. We love you, and we'll see you in 8 minutes.
Sin City Crypto. Cash is Cuvée. Yeah. Sin City Crypto. Everybody know we here for entertainment and info. Gonna show you how to get that big dough. So every day stay tapped in for big facts, no capping. With Bitcoin, if you're in, then you win. We divide the pie with no fraction. It's Big Rob, David. I spit the game, but they gave it. Name the coin, it's your favorite. I got dry powder, why save it? To the OGs, new beginners. Special shout out to the well members. Buy the dip, sell winners. Ain't really nothing you can tell sinners. Tune in for the latest new flavors. They gonna teach us mean coins. They polarizing like barbecue chicken pizzas. I laugh with a major grin. Laggers, we trade them in. Baddies, they came to sin. And sinners gon' play to win. Screaming hola till my bags are flowing over. Hold ya to the moon and to the solar. Won't don't be letting FOMO control ya. It's over when the finger tornado close ya.